All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to Honey Badger Arcade. And I have the treat of treats for you. Are y'all ready for some quadruple A commentary? All right. So as you know, I have been residing in the Sweet Baby Discord server. It's accessible to anybody who has the link. It's not an exclusive club or anything. But apparently, according to Cabrutus, I think his name is, the guy who started the server. According to him, a couple of Kotaku journalists entered the Discord, and what he was trying to get like a feel for, who it was and who was on there that's actually a Kotaku journalist. And maybe, what he offered was, he said, look, if you find out who the journalists are, who the Kotaku people are, immediately let me know so that I can talk to them about the server, so they can, so that like we can give them the context and everything. And of course, because I'm a Gamergate vet, I knew that this was nothing but trouble. And now we have an article from Kotaku that we're going to be looking at. And remember, like, they were in the server like yesterday, okay? And of course, this Sweet Baby thing, it hasn't been going on for like a really long time, but it looks like there is already like articles out there. So if you guys feel like things are going to start feeling familiar, yeah, you better believe it. So let's get into what the article is. So here we go. All right. So this article comes from Kotaku. I have a link to the article in the description, archived, so you're not giving them any clicks, because that's where they get their bread and butter. Thank you for subscribing, COD BO3. What? How do I pronounce that? COD BO3 RGM3. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Okay. Really appreciate it. Okay, so this is from Kotaku, and of course it's like a mess of ads like everywhere. These people are like, they are struggling to stay relevant and afloat. Like, I had to crop the image so that you weren't bombarded with a bunch of crap, but there's even stuff down here. Like, can I close this? Okay. So the title is Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what some gamers think it does. No one company isn't forcing diversity into all your favorite video games. Does anybody feel like a sense of nostalgia, like from 10 years ago? Do you feel the nostalgia washing over you? The games journalists are so predictable. Well, journalists in general are predictable. Let's be real, right? And here we go again. So I haven't read this. This is going to be a blind read through. We're going to see what they have to say, but I'm going to make a prediction. It's not going to be very charitable. It's not going to be very charitable to people's gripe, okay? And of course, these people are, they're anti-free market. They're anti, like, informed consumer. They're against all that. I mean, and actually, it's funny because I was running some errands and I was listening to Endymion, who does some pretty good work on his channel. If you haven't heard of Endymion, it's ENDYMION, I think. I might have that all wrong. So, and he was basically saying, why hasn't the media reported on this Sweet Baby thing, even though it's been all over Twitter and everything? And I was like, well, because they haven't figured out how to spin it yet. Of course they know about it, but they're not going to be charitable. It's the media, for Christ's sake, right? These people are activists down to the core. They have a belief system, and they use a shield of liberalism to push their sort of commie messaging. So anyway, but now they are reporting on it because I guess they figured it out. And let's find out if they make the same mistake that they did during Gamergate, and a bunch of people, like other gaming websites, report on this, and they all have the same story. They all have the same opinions, gamers are dead and so on. White rural rage, whatever it is they're going to call it, okay? So let's get into this. And of course, they're making it, okay, right off the bat, we can see by the imagery, they're trying to imply that this is a conspiracy, right? They have the wall with the pins and the red threads, and they're connecting the dots, and OMG, you know. Of course, this isn't like a conspiracy theory. This is just a conspiracy fact. Like they have told us what they were doing, that to our face, and all we're doing is sharing this information with other people so they're like informed buyers, so that they know, you know, what they should be doing. So put some comments in the chat so I know you're there. After that subscription, I didn't really see anybody else saying anything, so I'm feeling a little lonely right now. But anyway, so we have this image, and it shows a bunch of the games that Sweet Baby's worked on. And of course, we know that it's obviously not only Sweet Baby. That's another thing, is that it's already been revealed that there are several other consulting companies that are doing the same thing for the same reasons, which, you know, goes back to the thing that I've been saying since 2013, which is it's not a problem of individual people, it's a problem of ideology. It's the idea, it's this prideful belief that your views are the best views and everyone else just has to submit or they're a bad person. That's why they always frame it that way. Are you a decent human being? Then you're a feminist, right? That's like the root of all of it. And these people are so convinced that that is what makes a good person. They're, you know, like that's how they frame everything. That's just how they see the world. So, all right. By Alyssa Mercante, published 31 minutes ago. Sweet Baby Inc. is not the largest narrative design company in the games industry, nor is it solely responsible for the characters and stories in recent high-profile releases like Alan Wake 2, God of War Ragnarok, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. But good luck telling some gamers that. Of course, they want us to believe that we're in the minority, when I think it's just because we're, you know, like we're the people who are informed, and maybe there is a larger number of people that are not informed. But then again, the sales numbers don't lie when it comes to Suicide Squad, for example. I don't know how well Alan Wake 2 did. I don't think it did do super well. I think God of War Ragnarok did well because of the sales of the first game. But I think that people were disappointed, in particular David Jaffe, by the way, the creator of God of War. He was very unhappy with some of the choices they made in the story for God of War Ragnarok. But he's a moral coward that could not admit that this was like a thing that he welcomed. Actually, David Jaffe's an interesting case study in like how liberalism can be an obstacle to good storytelling, because you are encouraged to simply be tolerant and not question like the changes they make. And so when Jaffe experienced what happened, what they did to Kratos, which is essentially to make everything that he did bad and everything that they changed good, this is what bothered him. And it should, because it was his creation and they're shitting on it like they do everything else that they co-opt. Why did Saints Row, when they remade that was also Sweet Baby. It's not listed here, but how well did Saints Row do? Suicide Squad's numbers are in the toilet, and they're trying to say, oh, this is because games is a service, when we know that's not true, because Helldivers, which is also a game as a service, is blowing the fuck up. Robert Johnson said the same mistake the right made in the 80s. To be frank, they went after music, video games, tabletop games, etc. Great Indoors says, Kotaku journos, let me guess, gamers are dead again? We are dead and went, and yet on the third day we rose again. So it's a dead man's party. All dressed up with nowhere to go. Okay, so anyway, I'll read the next paragraph now. Late last month, one of the company's consultants discovered a Steam group dedicated to detecting games, they put detecting in quotes, that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on. The purpose, to encourage people to avoid those games because the group had deemed SBI, Sweet Baby Inc., was pushing a woke agenda. They put woke in quotes because, you know, they're implying that that's not real. They're trying to suggest that's not real. A woke agenda by working towards greater diversity, equity, and inclusion. You mean diversity, inclusion, and equity. And you're literally using the language of the left to describe something that you claim the left is not doing. Hilarious, guys. The Steam group now has more than 100,000 followers. Actually, it's getting up to 200,000. And its own Discord that boasts nearly 2,000 members. That's the one I'm in. But this ire against Sweet Baby Inc. and DEI initiatives in general isn't new. An October 2023 Kiwi Farms post shares similar sentiments, stating that the company's involvement in Remedy's award-winning 2023 action game Alan Wake 2 was, quote, possibly one of the biggest scandals in gaming history. I love how they say that Alan Wake 2 is an award-winning game, but they don't say that it was popular with gamers. So this is actually interesting. I want to make a quick point, a quick aside here. When these people tell you that this, hey, thank you for that. Somebody subscribe. Thank you, Cedric, for the subscription. Really appreciate it. That's 2 in 1 game. What? I've only been live for like not even 15 minutes. Dude, love you guys. Okay. So where was I? Oh yeah. So when whenever journalists tell you that this thing that people hated was actually like popular with critics, that's a manipulation tactic. They're trying to make you feel as though you're supposed to like it because the intellectuals or the critics like it, okay? When the truth is, you should probably feel the opposite of that. You should probably, like, if Alan Wake 2 gets a bunch of awards, then you know, and you didn't care for the game for whatever reason, yeah, that means that it's probably something you should be very suspicious of. Zering says Helldivers 2 being good and a games as a service product doesn't mean we should encourage games as a service. No, I agree. Games as a service is aligned with owning nothing and being happy. No, I agree with you on that. I'm not, but what I'm saying is that they're trying to use it as an excuse as to why Suicide Squad is a failure. It is one excuse that they've used, but it doesn't apply because Helldivers 2 is still very, very, very popular. I agree though that the games as a service should not be a thing. And I don't know, I'm not paying, like, I only paid for Helldivers once, but it does have, like, you know, like an in-game currency that you can put real money into, but I haven't done any of that because I don't work that way, you know. But that's a different conversation. I'm getting a little distracted. Stream Elements is basically the service I use to tell me when people subscribe. So, speaking of which, I should, like, if I'm gonna get more subscriptions, I should alter my settings here just a little bit, so that I can do the dance when people subscribe, because it's not it's not in here right now, and I should probably like copy it in here. So let me do that really quick before we continue. Paste it in here. There we go. Now, if somebody subscribes, I'll do a little dance to go along with the music, and you'll get like a light show. So there you go. But thank you so much for subscribing, Cedric. And COD Borg me. Like, I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Okay, back to this. So yeah, anybody here play Alan Wake 2? What do you think? I played Control, and I already talked about this. I played Control. I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it. There was something with the graphics that I thought was really cool. Like, I couldn't put my finger on it, but I never played Alan Wake because that was like an Xbox 360 exclusive, and I didn't have an Xbox 360, so. Or I think it was exclusive. Okay. The conversation around Sweet Baby Inc. has ignited a fundamentally misinformed Gamergate-esque firestorm. Right here. That's us, right here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Its employees have faced rampant harassment as a direct result. Industry figures have had to deny allegations that SBI comes in and completely changes their games. No, see? That's bullshit. You guys are bullshitting already. So here's what, see, this is what they're doing. And there is like a logical fallacy for this. Maybe one of you Spurgs in the comments can tell me what it is. But no one is saying that Sweet Baby Inc. is completely changing the game. Nobody is saying that. What they are saying is that Sweet Baby Inc. and then Sweet Baby Inc. itself has said this. They push their little tweaks into the story, into the visual design, into all that, in order to shift it more towards what they want, which is DEI stuff. They want to get their social credit score up or whatever it is. They want to get that money, that BlackRock money, that Vanguard money, and that's what they're doing. So it's not a complete change. So this is a misrepresentation. You're straw manning our position, and you're claiming that people are claiming something that they're not claiming. But what Sweet Baby Inc. does change, even if it's small, even if it's just a little nudge, it is enough to annoy the consumers, which you don't want to do. See, this is the thing, that these people are anti-consumer. They're anti their audience. They want to pretend to give us one thing, and then they're going to put something else in there. Like if you go to a restaurant and you ask for French fries, and you don't want curly fries, or you don't want Cajun seasoned fries, or you don't want onion rings, and you say, give me French fries, if they give you French fries, they should not have those other elements. So if they do give you onion rings instead, you have a right to say, I don't want onion rings, I want French fries. So when people say they want to buy like the next Rocksteady game, like Suicide Squad, they have an expectation of what it's going to play like, what it's going to look like. And if it doesn't meet that, then they have the right to be upset about it and annoyed with it. Kotaku didn't do nothing. You are misinformed, you see. Just lying. Yeah, they're lying. And they literally do pressure. They basically do a shakedown on people. And it's not just them. I don't know if you guys remember. I might bring this up a little bit later, but Anita Sarkeesian herself threatened CD Projekt Red when CD Projekt Red was releasing Cyberpunk 2077. And I can dig that up. It's old, but she was basically saying, you know, if you don't change this, there's going to be consequences. And this is what I mean when people say, oh, Anita Sarkeesian is irrelevant. That's bullshit. Like, she works in the industry. And it's not just her. There's plenty of people. Like, it's probably most of the industry itself. Because most of the industry has a sort of like at least a level of tolerance for this kind of shit. And that's the problem, right? They're not anti-consumer or audience, or anti-men. Well, that much is true. And that's the thing too, is that this is a hobby dominated by men. And that makes it like more okay for them, right? KD says, yeah, it's a particular kind of straw man argument. Lat QCD says, I played the original Alan Wake and I found it pretty boring and forgettable. Yeah, I guess it had like a certain, you know, like, I don't know, maybe it was something new and people were excited about it, but I remember it was kind of hype when it came out, but I never played it. They take issue with what men enjoy, but what women enjoy, they don't care about. It's true. If you criticize women for liking morally questionable things, they'll attack you for holding women to any standard. Yes. Robert Johnson says, unironically, they are biting the hands that feed them. Of course, but again, they think that they can just shame men into submission. Ultimately, I haven't finished this yet, but ultimately, what's the goal of this Kotaku article? Is it just to say you have to buy this thing that you don't want to buy? Because ultimately, Sweet Baby Inc. Detected is only there to inform people. So they're like, well, you know, do I want to get this or do I not? Like yesterday, I talked about all the stuff they were involved in, like Sweet Baby Inc. and all of the affiliates. And one of the games on the list was Celeste. And I was saying, oh yeah, I know about Celeste. It's like a platformer, and it's about, like, supposedly the big selling point is that it's about mental illness. And I said, like, that's just not for me. And someone made a comment on my video. I think it was Picky Physics Student who comments on our other videos, and he was like, well, I don't agree that, you know, like, I thought Celeste was good and I liked the message and all. And I said, dude, you can buy it if you want to. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't purchase. That's like the main point, is that we have the choice. And I don't care that Celeste, they can make 10 Celeste games and they can go make them about, you know, suicide and transgenderism. I don't care what they do. Just don't, like, take a game franchise that I like and turn it into the Frankenstein monster of what you think I should be playing, because that's what's really going on, right? So Zostar says, hey guys, the misinformed articles from gaming websites have started to come out. I repeat, do not click on these articles. They just want the traffic and ad revenue. Do not click them. Oh, this is an archive link. So if we can get archive links, that'd be good, because then I won't click those articles. Thank you for the heads up though, Zostar. KD goals of article: pretend that what is happening is not happening. Portray certain men / gamers as unhinged. Yes, unhinged conspiracy theorists, right? So anyway, let's keep going. The conversation around Sweet Baby Inc. has ignited a fundamentally misinformed Gamergate-esque firestorm. Its employees have faced rampant harassment as a direct result. Oh, here we go. The harassment allegations. I will say for the record, and I know you guys are smarter than this, but please don't harass these people anywhere. But they're gonna cry harassment no matter what. And besides, the way that they define harassment is literally like somebody saying, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna buy your game. Or somebody's showing their friends in their own private space, hey, look, here's a list of games that these people make, you know, and the other guy's like, thanks for the list. I think I'm going to look through it and see which ones I feel are worth my money or not. And they're like, harassment! So it's just the same old shit, right? I mean, I've been doing this shit for 10 years, guys. 10 years I've been seeing this shit. 10 years. It doesn't change. Alvis says, archive link, women who wrote that article is a massive clown on Twitter. I bet. I have this one archived. And by the way, any of you guys that want to send me other archive links so I can bring them up on the screen without giving them a click, put it in, send me a DM on either Twitter at Badger Arcade, and be sure to follow me there as well. Or you can send it through my Discord. I'm in the Discord group, God's Doge. Because my normal avatar would be a Doge, but this is Honey Badger Arcade, and so I got to put Vivian on the screen. Anyway, yeah. So, you made a Steam list. Harassment. Exactly. Yes, exactly. Welcome, Alvi, to the show, by the way. All right. I spoke with, oh wait, I'm sorry, let me go back. Its employees have faced rampant harassment as a direct result. Industry figures have had to deny allegations that SBI comes in and completely changes their games. I spoke with several employees of Sweet Baby Inc. to learn what the company actually does and how the misunderstanding of its role in the industry highlights a far broader problem. Remember, the woman who runs it, Bel Air, she said that you should terrify developers until you get what you want. She said that, her words, okay? That's giving up the goat. That's right up there with Anita saying, you know, I had to learn a lot about video games. I don't even like video games, right? So when you're just calling them out on what they're doing, they call it threats and harassment, and they get to speak in front of the UN, which Anita and Zoe Quinn did. If you don't know, remember the history that happened. They actually got to they got a seat at the table at the United Nations over internet harassment. And of course, the United Nations would hear them, because the thing is, this goes into beyond levels. Okay, the government would love nothing more than to be able to control the internet. It's like the one place where we can exchange ideas, and it's shrinking. And they really want to have like a handle on that. So if women whining about about online, harassment, it will work, they will allow it. And this is something you have to understand, okay? Alvi says, happy to be here, subbing right now. Yeah, you will probably cover this, but in the Sweet Baby Inc. Discord, one of the persons who talked with her has receipts of her on her twisting words so much. Give me the screenshots, brother, and I will put them on the screen. Give me the screenshot. Follow me on there. Let me see. I'm in the Discord for sure. God's Doge. You should see it. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. You should see. Thank you for the sub, Alvi. That's 3 in 15 minutes. Or 20 minutes now. 30 minutes. 25. Great Endora says, what I remember was that the initial gameplay that was promised with Alan Wake was severely toned down in the actual release versions. It was pretty much a held hand affair, unfortunately. In the original, I don't know, but I understand in the sequel, they do a bait and switch where, you start off, I guess you're not actually playing Alan Wake in the Alan Wake game, you're playing a woman of color. Because that's the thing, like all these people, all they do is they say they're adding diversity, but the only thing they're doing is adding themselves. It's just narcissism. Anyway, we have a problem with pride today. And especially amongst women on the left. Man, it is rampant, but okay. That's not Disco Sax that was playing, is it? I forget his. Oh, it was the Epic Sax guy is what was playing. Anyway, so the conversation. I already read this part, I think. I spoke with several employees of Sweet Baby Inc. to learn what the company actually does and how the misunderstanding of its role in the industry highlights a far broader problem. So now we're gonna get them explaining to us that what is, what people are observing is happening is not actually happening. And what instead the problem is that there are, straight cis white men and their white male adjacent supporters that want to, go back to the 50s like that. I mean, that's basically what it always is, right? We'll just go back to the video games of the 50s, which didn't exist. And here we got the lovely Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is going to be, I think that it's going to get probably even more money than it deserves. Like, we don't even know how good the game is, and people are ready to buy it just to make a statement. And you know what? I'm here for that. I'm here for it. So, all right, let me see if I think somebody's, oh yeah, I got messages from somebody. Hold on a second. Let's see. Friends, Varu, thank you. I'm adding you now, so feel free to send me a thing. Xanthos says, politics and ideology everywhere IRL, and now in all the media we consume. No escape, relief, or freedom. We can have absolutely nothing. It's depressing, and they are just tightening up. Well, it's actually, I think it started in the culture, to be honest, and I think people were just not aware of it. That's the one thing we have to, like, I mean, it's okay once you understand it. You understand that you can make choices still. We still have some things we can, like, go to, but we have to remain vigilant, and we have to fight back on this. We have to. So 50s pinball, I'm down. Yeah. they can't wokeify pinball, right? I mean, not yet. Like, pinball's got some pretty, I don't know if you guys remember the art on some pinball machines, but woof, shit was spicy. Anyway, I hope that Stellar Blade is good, though. And there are some games I'm looking forward to that I don't think will be affected by these woke companies. I mean, I'm not saying companies are immune, because they're obviously not. But there is this one game that I'm really curious about called Phantom Blade Zero, I think. And it looks like a really great action game. And of course, From Software is still, like, they're still doing their thing. And they got, like, the Elden Ring expansions coming out. And look, if you've always wondered about playing one of the Souls-likes, I would recommend you try them. They're not as hard as people say. People are blowing it out of proportion, right? And there's still plenty of other products, but like the AAA space and the really indie space are all paused. So, Activision, Ubisoft, Electronic Arts, Blizzard, whatever, all of that trash. But I do understand that there are some guys that used to work at Blizzard that are starting their own company, because they were among those that were ousted by the Me Too movement. And it was right around that time that Blizzard was getting, like, really woke. So what I'm guessing is that they got rid of the impure, and then they kept the people who were, like, going to fall in line. And some of those guys are going to go off and do their own thing. So these things have a tendency to work themselves out. And I'm optimistic about that. But there will be a little bit of pain. And I think that they have to feel as much or more than we are. Richard Bier says, the thing in communist countries, there was always someone who wasn't being communist enough or correctly. Yes, that's usually how that goes. Zaring says, this shows they don't know history. The 1950s is post the 1920s. Why is that relevant? The flappers came out during the roaring 20s where miniskirts came from. Yes. John Cena's not a sound, but I can play it for you. Hold on a second. Just for Richard Bier, since he's here.
And his name is John Cena!
All right. Anyway, let's get back into the article. What bad actors think companies like Sweet Baby Inc. do. So already they're framing us as bad actors, okay? The games industry has had its fair share of struggles lately, from massive layoffs to wildly expensive games like Suicide Squad falling short of expectations. So that's putting it mildly, dude. Okay, so I don't know the issues with Suicide Squad, but I'm pretty sure the disrespect to the characters in the actual, like, if the game was like subpar, kind of like Avengers, I guess Avengers or Gotham Knights were like kind of subpar games. If the games were just subpar but respected the source material, it probably just would have been a flash in the pan discussion. Like people, oh yeah, Suicide Squad, it kind of let down, you know. Like Avengers, it was. I mean, I wasn't interested because there was something about the aesthetic that I hated for the Avengers game. I think Eric July, young Rippa, he bought it and played the game like multiple times because I was hoping for a really good like co-op experience on the Avengers game. But because they put these weird like RPG elements in it, and it just, from what I heard, it just wasn't that good. But nobody was offended by it, other than like the Ms. Marvel bit that was in there. I'm sure that was crammed in for like some woke points too, but that didn't really kill it. But the Suicide Squad thing was way more severe, right? And Gotham Knights was also, I guess, you know, subpar for whatever reason, but not like, you know, in a way that is hurtful or painful, right? So did you redeem your died? Is my bot not working? Let me see here. I gotta check. Look and see. Actions. There a queue here? You died. Yeah, it's there. Oh yeah, there it goes. Oh, you know what? You died might not be available for this. No, it should be. Yeah, no, it's here. It's here. It's you died. Okay. Or died. Can't remember, but whatever. All right, let's get into to this bit. Zarek says it just doesn't make sense how Flash died, and I doubt Harley would delete Batman how she did in the game if she was going to at all. Yeah, well, you could tell the people who wrote that, and it doesn't matter if it's Sweet Baby or not, but you could tell the people who wrote that they just didn't give a shit about what they were writing about. Like they had no respect for the source material. And when someone doesn't have respect for the source material, fans can see that. Like they can see it plain as day. Look at Rings of Power. Look at like the sequel trilogy for Star Wars. Look at everything in the MCU post, you know, like, I don't know, Spider-Man Far From Home. Like basically the Captain Marvel, even the first Captain Marvel, like everything after that, you know, like it was clearly made by people who A, don't know what they're writing about, and B, don't care. Or C, they hate it. They hate it because men like it, you know, and I do think that's true. Which game company had to refund customers because the game was that bad? Well, I heard Sony was doing refunds for Suicide Squad, but I think there are other games that also had to do refunds. What about Forspoken? That was a Sweet Baby product. That was like that was Squaresoft too. Absolute trash. But anyway, so they're gonna tell us that this thing that is clearly happening is not happening. Like everyone is like, games have been shit for like the last 10 years, right? By and large, they've been shit and a disappointment. Except for, you know, the super artsy ones that the critics like, but that doesn't matter. The games industry has had its fair share of struggles lately, from massive layoffs to wildly expensive games like Suicide Squad falling short of expectations. According to the loudest members of the Sweet Baby Inc. detected Discord, the company is directly responsible for these failures, not the studios that employed them in the first place. Okay. Somebody's sending me Varu, thank you. I'm gonna put these up. Thank you for that. Because of the content Sweet Baby allegedly forces into games. And oh, I have a folder here I'm gonna open up where I put a bunch of yes, here it is. Where I put a bunch of screenshots that I wanted to share as well. So thank you so much for this. I am gonna use it. Is this a different image? No, cancel that. There was something else you sent me. Yeah, this one. And I think there was like one more. No, that's it. Okay. Thank you for the links, Varu. I'm gonna share them in a moment here, okay? So I'm gonna do it in a second, but first, let's get through more of this. So Kyle Rowley says, in a response to this Twitter post by The Hidden Machine, the prevailing theory is that if it weren't Sweet Baby, Saga Anderson would have been portrayed by a white woman. Is that true? Well, it's impossible to say, but does it matter? Melanie Liburd did a great job in the role. So this is the tweet they decided to select, is where someone says the race would have been white if, you know, if Sweet Baby weren't involved. Now, this is people have been talking about Sweet Baby left, right, and center all over Twitter. So why'd they pick this tweet? Because this is the one they could take and twist to suit their narrative. So in case any of you guys are new to all this, you know, like if this Sweet Baby thing is your first time experiencing this, this is what these people do. Their entire goal is to figure out how they can twist what you say or what you type into something that is problematic so that they can point to that and say, this is all you are, okay? So this doesn't mean you necessarily have to be careful about what you say, although it's probably advisable that you don't say anything that they could use against you, but because they will, you know, absolutely. But it is so that you are aware, you know, and you don't let that make you into a coward. You just have to, like, you know, be assertive and honest about your opinions and don't sweat this, because this is what they're going to do. This is what they're going to do. They're all about that, okay? So anyway, so the Sweet Baby does not force anything. Okay, thank you. Okay, so then of course Kyle Rowley says this is absolutely not true, which of course we can never prove either one way or the other, but he's certain of something that did not happen, I guess. Even games that are widely considered to be successes are not safe from these conspiracy theories. So you see the framing is going on, okay? Alan Wake 2 game director Kyle Rowley took to X, formerly Twitter, on March 3rd to dispel rumors that Sweet Baby was the reason protagonist Saga Anderson was black, a rumor first traced back to the aforementioned October 2023 Kiwi Farms post. It's absolutely not true, Rowley wrote, but Rowley's concise statement and similar ones made by other industry members have not silenced the conspiracy theories. So I assume that in a game called Alan Wake, you'd be playing Alan Wake, right? I mean, is that right? I would think so. I don't know if, because Control, I didn't know when I was playing Control, I didn't know what it was about. And then I learned that Control takes place in the same universe as Alan Wake. I'm not sure where it sits on the timeline. I'm not sure if there's any relationship between the two games other than they happen to be taking place in the same world, right? But I assume that a game called Control could have a different protagonist. And nobody's complaining about that game, by the way, because it has a female main character. Nobody's complaining about that. But Alan Wake 2 apparently is a bait and switch. Am I wrong about that? I don't know. Tell me in the comments, because I haven't played that game. I have no interest in it, and especially not now, you know. But my understanding is that it sounds like they were just like, you know, put a diverse chick in it and make her lame and gay, and they did that. That's what it looks like. Zostar says Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are absolutely amazing. They are definitely standouts in the last 10 years. Yes. I love those games. They're so straightforward. They're so straightforward, you know. But the thing is, if they could change those games, they would. And I bet they will eventually. Something happened with Wolfenstein. I think there was some woke shit in that, you know. Particularly Wolfenstein, the New Colossus, I think whatever the most recent one is. And then there was a Wolfenstein game with 2 chicks in it. Those same, I guess, you know, like a parallel developer, those went to shit, but okay. So what else? KD says if SBI made developers add dog whistles into games, it wouldn't matter if they force changes or not. Simply associating with them would be an offense. Yeah, and you know, people have a right to not buy something and warn other people about it. You know, at the end of the day, it goes back to what I said, the picky physics student. If you really want to buy the game, I'm not going to tell you what to pay for or what not to, but I think that an informed consumer is a happy consumer. Like, they can make decisions and be like, you know what, I don't want to give them my money, and that's their right. And it's helpful if they know, like let's put it this way, okay? When you watch TV commercials for cereal, and they'll tell you, oh yeah, this has 8 essential vitamins and minerals, and it tastes like fruit, or it tastes like chocolate, and all this, and they're trying to convince parents that it's healthy, right? And we're supposed to believe that. And of course, if you don't do your due diligence and learn about it, they'll learn that, you know, carbs and sugar are bad for you, and that cereal is guaranteed to like turn your kids into diabetic fatties, because it's not good for you, right? Then then you have no one but yourself to blame if you don't do the due diligence. Now, the media is never going to tell you that. They don't talk about like what food you should eat or shouldn't eat. They just follow the government, the government approved FDA like food pyramid, and you just follow the food pyramid, and the government and the media just goes along with it. So if there were report, and of course there's plenty of people who have talked about like, the truth about nutrition, or at least like a lot of other studies that say, hey, look, grains and carbs are not good for you, and you should be like eating these other things. But they have to come from the independent sphere. Like the media is not, CNN's never going to tell you this. So what do we do? I mean, like keeping people informed as consumers is good for them, because then they know, I should make a decision based on that. Now, if they still want to buy the sugary cereal, then that's their business. But at least they know, and that's like, that's a good thing, right? Okay. So let's see, how long is this article? It kind of goes for a while. So let's stop for a moment and look at these screenshots, because I'm really curious about these screenshots. So we got one. Can I put this in here? Yes, I can. And I got this. Unfortunately, they're kind of zoomed out. So John Trent. I know him. I had him on my show. Okay. So this is screenshots. I managed to find images of the tweets if you still need them. And Alyssa Mercante is the woman who wrote the article. Okay. Maybe I need a little context for these, if you can help me out. John Trent is from, he writes for That Park Place, but I talked to him. He writes for Bounding into Comics a lot. He was actually one of the lead editors on that. So, and he says, I managed to find images of the tweets. Okay, this is Sweet Baby Inc. CEO and co-founder Kim Belair compares white male gamers to picky babies. Yeah, I mean, that's typical of progressivism to do that. Progressives. I hate to even use the words. Let me see if I got anything else. I'll wave to him, I guess. Oh, is this a link to the actual Discord conversation? Oh, I see it. What a goddamn liar she is. She twisted my words. Okay. So, wow, there's a lot here. Okay, a lot to unpack. You need a direct link. Here's some coverage. So you're being really a good sport, sending them things. Appreciate you. I can link you YouTube videos regarding it in the meantime. That'll work. So let me display these really quick. Sorry guys, I just got bombarded with some of this stuff, and I think it's worth sharing. So I'm gonna try to like put it in here. So here's another one, and I gotta zoom in on this too, because these screenshots are kind of small. So this person, this is the guy who subscribed. Thank you. It says, well, that's simple. It's mainly to just inform people of games. So she's asking what it is. SBI worked on and helped make a choice, but its unintended consequence also was to bring people together who want video games to go back to focusing on being entertaining and a form of escapism, not political pandering. We want to be able to play a game that doesn't lecture us about how we're bigots. Then have game companies out there blaming us and attacking us as bigots for their product failing. And it also exposes those who cheer this garbage made like Suicide Squad for what they really are. SBI would not be in this situation had they not decided to launch a targeted harassment campaign against the guy. They thought it'd be a win, but if anything, it just hurt them. Yes, the Streisand effect. Alyssa Mercanti says, can you link me to the targeted harassment you're speaking of? Just want to make sure that I have the right thing. And also, are you comfortable with me quoting you for this piece, potentially? And then the guy responds, I mean, go ahead, just as long as you keep it to my username as per some privacy. And she says, absolutely. And he says, give me a few moments to find them. Okay. So you're walking into their trap. So like, this is going to be, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how she decides to frame the shit. Okay. So we have another screenshot here. I'm going to put it, and we'll zoom in a little bit so that I can see this better. So she says, hi, thanks for reaching out. Can you share your name, age, job title? Okay, your name. I'm sorry, Zach. Just wondering if you could tell me about how you got involved. All right. So that was, I mean, you shared this in the Discord, so I guess you're okay with it. And she twisted your words, of course. But I mean, they got things wrong. But the thing is, Cod Borg me, I'm just going to call you Cog. The thing is, Cog, they know what they're doing. This is not an accident. They're not ignorant. They're not foolish. Okay, they are dishonest. They're liars. They manipulate. This is Mean Girls. This is the thing that they do. Okay, it's Mean Girls activity. So, Trent is an ex-owner of BIC. Oh, okay. So like they're gonna do this. And it's okay to talk to them, like approach them in good faith. I'm glad you took the screenshots though. Very, very smart, because they will twist your words, and that way you have the receipt. So thank you so much. I hope that, like, if there was a separate point you really wanted to make regarding that, let me know. Send me a message, and let me know about that. So someone in the Honey Badger Discord tagged me in something. So do you have any questions about Dune Part 2? Oh, no, not now. I do want to watch it though. Sharing is caring. That's right. These peeps are equivalent to glow in the darks. Yes. Kit Astro at Discord. Oh, I don't know if I have that as a command, but welcome to the stream, Kit Astro. You have been awarded some coins. Try to use them. Appreciate that. Okay, back to the article. Even games that are widely considered to be successes are not safe from these conspiracy theories. Alan Wake 2 game director Kyle Rowley. Okay, I already read that. I don't know, was Alan Wake 2 a success? Or did people like get, because you know what often happens is that sometimes these games, like, they come out and there's so much hype and people buy it and then they find out the game is not what they thought. You know, kind of like how, like, there's a new TV show on Disney Plus and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see Kenobi, and then it's a bait and switch and you're not actually watching Kenobi. Or you're not actually watching a show about Boba Fett, or you're not actually watching a show about, like, insert, you know, Marvel character, Hawkeye or whatever. And it's just like, I mean, maybe that's what happened. So, but they'll look at the initial sales and say, oh yeah, this was good. Like Suicide Squad probably did sell pretty good at first, but now the community is almost gone and people are getting refunds. So, hello, Kid Astro. Welcome to the stream. That embrace tradition meme isn't even accurate because the sexy females in video games have always been hated. Yes, by feminists. But, okay. Let's keep going. On March 5th, I managed to spend an hour or so in the Sweet Baby Inc. Detective Discord. So okay, so that's yesterday. So this person was on Discord for one day and they're writing a piece. Now, of course, they want to be first out the gate, but they couldn't possibly, like, I'm in that Discord and I can't keep up with any of the conversations because there's too many people talking too fast, right? I don't have a problem with that. But I mean, like, I don't have a lot of time to do that stuff. Like, I'm taking time out of my day to do this stream right now because I think it's really important. So, SS seems a bit meh. I just dislike sex negative type behavior. Yeah, no, I think that's a lot of people in there because it's really ramping up, right? Like, let's make all the characters ugly, basically. Okay. So, I managed to spend an hour or so. So she was only in there for 1 hour. There's no way you could get a lot of information in 1 hour on that Discord. Before I was booted from the space, likely because I identified myself as a Kotaku journalist. So did she get kicked out because she was Kotaku? Because I don't think that's true. Because from what I understand, Kabrutus was like, he basically said, I understand that there are Kotaku journalists in the Discord server. If you find out who they are, please DM me, because he wanted to talk to them. So I don't think that she got kicked for being that, but does somebody know? Did she get kicked out? So, Professor or Twitter troll taking time out of day to be an anime girl. I am not well, okay, it looks like it, but this is Vivian James. She is what you are trying to protect. She is the embodiment of video games. That's why her name is Vivian James. And she is the the daughter of Gamergate, and you're going to see a lot more of her because this is where we're headed. So be prepared. Okay. Members shared posts referencing Feminist Frequency founder Anita Sarkeesian, Marcus Aurelius quotes, and pictures of idealized female bodies in games. Yes! That's all so base, guys. Marcus Aurelius quotes. Why? Is she offended by that? Remember when they got really mad because men thought about Rome a lot? Have you considered that this is why? One image showed several pictures of the protagonist Eve from Korean developer Shift Up's upcoming action game Stellar Blade, juxtaposed against female characters from Overwatch, Forspoken, and Life is Strange. Hey, don't forget Fable 3 or 4, whatever, that ugly-ass Fable game. Embrace tradition, reject modernity is emblazoned on the collage. Yes! What are you suggesting? How do you make that bad? I mean, I know why. It's because men typically like it. And it's not just men, because like female cosplayers don't want to dress up as the character from Forspoken. I've never seen that. They want to be Eve from Stellar Blade. They want to be Bayonetta. They want to be Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. Like they want to be Chun-Li. They don't want to be these ugly ass characters with their side part haircuts. They don't. So okay, so let's keep going. Almost 2,000 members. There are already a bunch of infiltrated people here screenshotting everything, sadly. So just keep it cool, brothers. We can't let this server or Steam group get taken down. That's all I ask. Keep it cool. Read a post from March 4th, which was shared again on March 5th. Several people on the Discord expressed concerns about glowies, a term coined by members of the far right for those suspected of being federal law enforcement officials or their informants attempting to infiltrate their online spaces and set them up for legal consequences. Oh man, is that really paranoid? Like, I'm pretty sure that there are feds watching this stream right now. They probably are watching, like, there's probably one guy watching 10 screens at the same time. Like, we're literally being like observed by an algorithm, which is basically artificial intelligence. So yes, glowies. Yeah, I know, right? wait, I got a sound for that. Give me a second here. Where did I put it? Where is it? Well, it's my I have some music for this. I thought it was under donations, but it might not be. I have too many sound effects. Well, whatever. I'm sorry, I wasted y'all's time.
I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
All right. So let's keep going. Two members that spoke with me via Discord DMs shared similar sentiments about why they believe the Steam page and subsequent Discord are important, so they can identify, put in quotes again, FBI open up! Yeah. No, I was thinking about that song, you were the heart that was ticking in my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. So they can identify games that were developed with support from Sweet Baby Inc. and make an informed decision, again in quotes, like we're not supposed to want to make informed decisions about anything when purchasing them. Sweet Baby Inc. is a symptom of other ideological worldviews that I believe have taken hold of the Western world, media, and gaming as a whole. A 31-year-old member of the Discord told me, based. Yes. All right. 100% true. 100% true. Okay. Anyway, so let's yeah, it is. I mean, like, dude, why do you think why would Vanguard invest in Sweet Baby Inc. and like these weird ghosts and these other like initiatives? Why would they invest in Disney? Why would they invest in Hollywood studios? Why would they invest in music companies? Why would they spend, like, I know they're investing in other things, like they're buying up land and shit like that, but why are they investing in these if it's not important to them? Like, what? And literally, like, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, right, was like talking about, oh yeah, we got to force behaviors. We're basically going to use muscle to enforce behaviors. And then you got like people like these guys, they're interested in changing shareholder economies to stakeholder economies. You know what a stakeholder economy is? It means, oh, I have a stake in the success of your company. Now, I don't have any money. Like, I'm not like, I'm not invested in that way. I'm invested in terms of like these other things, these political, social, cultural things, and I'm going to use them to like move the needle on what you're doing, and I don't care how it affects you. So yes, this is 100% true what he's saying. This is not just video games. These people don't actually give a shit about video games, but it is about the culture, and they know that the culture affects the politics, that it affects the way people view the world. I mean, like, in the 1970s, Sylvester Stallone wanted to make a movie. There was a guy named Sylvester Stallone who had done like bit parts, and he wanted to make a film, and no one would support him in the film he wanted to make. And at the time, we had a failing economy, everybody was poor, and of course the elites were doing well. And he makes a movie called Rocky with money out of his own pocket, low budget as fuck. Huge success. Why? Because the people wanted it. They wanted something like that, something aspirational, something to push them, and so they got that. But the elites did not want that, and they've been shitting on art for hundreds of years, which I can go into another time, because it's always been about controlling people through the culture. Okay. But anyway, let's keep going. So he also insisted, without providing evidence, that Sweet Baby Inc. adds race and identity group quotas to everything they are involved with. Well, what do you mean without evidence? The woman said it. This is what they do. They told us. They told us this stuff. Oh, I was playing Mass Effect in 2010, by the way, and I made like a black female shepherd, and then the first scene of the game, I'm talking to another guy who's black. I didn't play Mass Effect, so I can't tell you his name. And I was like, wow, representation is so important, man. Even though we've always had it, That's the thing, too, is that, these people only infiltrate spaces that are already pretty liberal. And then they say it's not liberal enough. This is why you have to be guarded against that shit. Because they're not being honest, and they don't have good intentions. They're not trying to make things better for you or them. They're just trying to destroy it. That's all it is. All right. They're not all white Canadians. They're like mixed. The woman who runs it is a mixed race person. She's like mulatto or something. And they took down the Rocky statue because Stallone isn't from Philly. Yeah, stupid. All right. What game is this? Oh, this is Alan Wake. Okay, that's the character. Sweet Baby Inc. isn't forcing diversity. It's happening naturally. This is happening on its own, guys. They're not doing this to you. Though these kinds of social media posts argue that companies like Sweet Baby Inc. somehow force game studios to include diverse characters and storylines, the reality is very different. Now here's where they're gonna start playing word games and equivocating shit, okay? They're gonna start trying to tell you the thing that is happening is not actually happening. Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative design company, meaning most of its work is focused on writing stories and dialogue. They are not a DEI consultancy firm. No, but they operate under the DEI framework. This is just like when I'm gonna connect some dots for you guys as I talk about this stuff, because it's important to understand that this shit is all connected, okay? When critical race theory was being talked about in terms of like using it in schools to educate kids, people were the people in defense of critical race theory were saying they're not teaching critical race theory in schools, and then we're treating it like a gotcha. Like, well, we're not teaching it. That's like a college level theory. How could you teach that in like a sixth grade classroom? That's impossible. What are you, an idiot? What kind of conspiracy theorist is this, right? And they would tell you they're not teaching it in schools, and then they would call that a done deal. Now, there is a kernel of truth in that they're not literally sitting students down and saying this is critical race theory, and so we're going to show you the actual like process of examining things through a critical lens, in the lens of race, to critically analyze things, right? They weren't doing that, no, but that wasn't the issue. No one said you're teaching it. Now, some people who were maybe a little bit more low information might have used that language, and then those were the ones that were dismissed, because this comes back to pride and elitism. But the truth is, they are teaching it, but they're not teaching it directly. It's informing how they teach everything else. So when they talk about, any other historical event, whatever it is they're talking about, the Civil War, World War One, the Great Depression, they will inject talking points that come from critical race theory into it. They won't literally teach critical race theory. It is the way it's what informs them, right? So maybe Sweet Baby Inc. isn't literally they're not a DEI consultancy firm, but that is irrelevant because if you go to the website, they will tell you, that they are like, these are my pronouns. I'm a queer, non-binary, disabled, indigenous person on Wakahuko land, and they give their land because it's Canada and Canada's all fucked up, and then you see like their DEI is not necessary because they already believe it. They are true believers in this shit, and it goes into whatever they consult. So they don't have to have it on paper. It's in their minds. They've already been infected with the parasite of DEI and intersectional feminism, which is really what it is, okay? It's just intersectional feminism. That's what DEI is. That's what, like, the thing that informs them is intersectional feminism. So this person is not being honest. They're being deceitful. They're trying to tell you, oh, these people don't know what they're talking about because they're accusing Sweet Baby of being a thing that it isn't. But that's not really the accusation. The accusation is that they're using that, like, that ideology informs their actions. It's just like Gamergate, when people were like, oh, the game's journos they're not ethical. They're taking payola and we have to deal with the ethics. And I was like, no, the ethics is not the problem. The problem is the ideology. It is their religion. That's what has to go. That's what has to be fought against. Or at the very least, people should be aware of it so they can make like informed decisions about who they give their money to. Because why would you give your money to people who hate you? And they do hate you. This is why they're doing this. And it's not just Sweet Baby Inc. It's everything. It's Kotaku. It's all of these websites. It's CNN. It's MSNBC. It's college professors. It's Claudine Gay. It's Harvard. It's Yale. It's everywhere. I mean, like, especially if you are a man. More importantly, if you're a man, if anything, right? Whatever you like is whatever it is you're into is, it's completely like on the cutting board. It's like it's in their sights, So anyway, back to this. Narrative designers. Oh, wait, let me see. That means they ensure a game's plot points make logical sense and are satisfying to players, and that characters speak and behave in consistent ways. Narrative designers may also provide a final round of polish, like Hollywood's script doctors. I bet script doctors are also woke, but Hollywood is woke, so does it even matter? I mean, they already talk about being what do they call it? Sensitivity readers. They are like Sweet Baby and these other groups. They're sensitivity readers. You know what that means? They read through your script to find out if there's anything misogynistic, bigoted, racist, or whatever. Even if it's just a little problematic, it's got to go. And who said it? Who said the line? Everything is racist. Everything is sexist. Everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out. That's what they do. They literally do. They look for problematic content and they point it out. And they coerce people to changing it. And if they don't, what do? They terrify them. They said that. So we know this is happening. We know for a fact. Like, Kotaku can't deny it. Okay. Narrative designers may also provide a final round of polish, like a Hollywood script doctor. For example, the team worked on Suicide Squad long after the story was written, and even then they joined just to write in-game ads, audio logs, and NPC barks. CEO Kim Belair tells me over video call. She continues. So now they're doing damage control. This is what this is, right? This is damage control. Sweet Baby is, at its core, a narrative development company. That means anything from script writing to narrative design to narrative direction to story reviews. One of the things that we do offer is cultural consultations or authenticity consultations. For us, that generally means that we might be asked to look at a story if there's a character in it who is marginalized in a certain way, and the studio wants us to connect them with a consultant who can bring a little bit of authenticity. They mean narcissism, because the people who want the people who do this, they're like, well, it needs to be like me, because they don't like, imagine bringing, you have like, you're working on a game, right? And Sweet Baby is involved, and they're looking at one of your characters, and you have a character that's I don't know, like you have a character that's Puerto Rican like me, okay? So you have a Puerto Rican character in your game, and they're like, well, we need to bring a little bit of authenticity. And it just so happens that there is a Puerto Rican person on the team. And they're like, well, the only way you can get the true authentic experience of a Puerto Rican character is if you have a Puerto Rican person, like, essentially go through it and make sure that it's authentic. That's not authentic, because it suggests that all Puerto Ricans are the same. And we're not. Or any group, right? Because you imagine, like, well, we have a black character. Well, I'm black, so let me just put all of me into this thing, and now you have the authentic experience. No, it's just you. It's not like, you're ridiculous. Like, would you actually, for example, if you had a black character, would you like say, well, let's model him after Clarence Thomas? No, of course not. Of course not. Clarence Thomas is not the right kind of black guy. So when they say this, they don't mean what they're saying. It's always like, how can we make this about us? That's all it is. It's narcissism. So anyway, but the perspective is never that we're coming in and injecting diversity. For the most part, it's the reverse. It's that a company has created a character and they want to make that character more representative and more interesting. No. Sweet Baby co-founder David Bedard adds that, contrary to popular belief, the people making these games want to make the experience better for all players, and that more diversity and representation is a byproduct of that. No. What, like that didn't exist before? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that we've always had that in games. I mean, like, what do you do? Okay, what if somebody made a, I don't know, like a bullet hell shooter? What's Sweet Baby gonna do to change that? Like, are we gonna make sure that we see like a black woman of color that's an amputee in the cockpit of the ship, and we're gonna add a whole bunch of like cutscenes so that we make sure that we know that that's who that is, and maybe she like cooks soul food on the side or something? Like, what? Like, it's so fucking annoying. Like, these people act like they just landed here and they know exactly what an industry that has been hugely successful without any of their help needs. You know? I mean, I think that what it does is they're trying to create jobs for themselves. It's a way, it's a real grift. I don't like the word grifter because I think it's really overused, but this is a real grift. Like, you basically say, this thing is broken, you need our help. Even though the games industry and Rocksteady was making good money, like, they never needed anyone to help. Like, their Batman games are like legendary, right? Legendary games. Even the weak ones. You know, I played Arkham Knight. I think that's the third one before the Arkham Origins, or maybe, well, Arkham Knight. I played Arkham Knight, and even though it's not everyone's favorite, oh, I also played Arkham Asylum. I was like, yeah, this is still a really solid game. Like, I mean, I don't like the Batmobile parts, but like, this is a good game. Like, I can see if you're like a Batman fan, you're gonna love this game, right? No, these people were never necessary. The original Borderlands already had diverse characters in it. Like, no, I mean, I wasn't thinking of it that way because to me, that's just stupid to like look at it and be like, I don't know if there's enough color in here. Like, I hate that. Like, no, I never do that. Any game where you can make a custom character, is already doing that. Like in the Soulsborne series, which I'm a huge fan of, you can make your character look ridiculous. Like, not even human. Nobody complains. Nobody. These people show up and they actually make games less diverse and less interesting. And they use this as their shield. Well, what are you, a bigot? What are you, a sexist? Do you hate women? Stupid. Like, you know, they tried to like flex on this Samus thing. They were like, oh, if Samus existed today, people would call it like, you know, if the first Metroid game came out today, this is what they suggested. People would be like upset because they would feel like there was a bait and switch. No, you don't understand. Like, Samus is a beloved character. Nobody is offended by that. Nobody. That's like, You know, when I first played Street Fighter 2, the first character I played was Chun-Li. I was like, oh, I want to be the woman. I want to see how she plays. Because I knew she was probably going to be fast, right? And she was. She was the fastest character at the time. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to play this character. I didn't say, well, I'm sure glad there's a woman in here. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. Like, these people are just like, they're the worst, man. They're so insecure too. That's the thing about people who are really prideful, is they're really insecure. They're really insecure, right? Anyway, let me see if I can, I'm going to try and finish this article. God damn, it's almost over. That's not too bad. Okay. Let me see. Detractors would rather believe that there's a shadowy cabal of people forcing them to put that stuff in. They would rather believe a make-believe fairy tale than accept that, he says. No, see, this is another straw man. Nobody thinks there's a secret cabal. We know that it's a mainstream kind of like coming from these kind of coastal champagne socialist commie elites that they're just like, we just want to see this stuff because we're insecure narcissists and we need to see ourselves in things, otherwise they don't actually exist. That's what it is. It's not, it's not the stonecutters, it's not the Illuminati. Nobody says that. But the more that they say this, they imply this shit, the more it makes me wonder, like, well, are you protecting something? Like, I feel like you're kind of giving up the goat there. But anyway, making something more representative and more joyful for a marginalized person in a video game is not a zero-sum game. It doesn't make anything worse for the male character in the game, for the white character in the game. Okay, this is another thing that bothers the shit out of me, okay? I'm not losing sleep over the fact that I haven't played a video game with a Puerto Rican main character in it. And I haven't because there aren't any, really. Like, I mean, but it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't give a shit. Why should I care about that? Why does that matter? Like, I guess I'm just not that narcissistic. I'm not. And it's really, really condescending to say, well, you poor fucking Australian Aboriginal man that lives in the outback. There are no video games that with you in it. Isn't that just terrible? Isn't that just awful for you? And that Australian Aboriginal guy is like, well, what do you suggest? Oh, you should play Starfield because there's plenty of those in Starfield. And he's like, yeah, but that game sucks. And I don't want to play that. Why would anyone just want to be themselves in something? Why? Like, I play Punch Out. I don't want to be Little Mac. I want to be me. No, nobody does. Who does that? Who does that? Maybe we should segregate gaming. Maybe there should be a gaming industry for the narcissists that want to put themselves in everything, and a gaming industry for the rest of us. Anyway. So making something, yeah, right, whatever. The assumption that team members at Sweet Baby Inc., or any marginalized person for that matter, can only offer up content that is based on their identity is incredibly frustrating for the team and for marginalized industry members at large. People can't imagine that we might do anything else but DEI, Belair says. They can't imagine that we're just talented writers. No, you're not! Dude, we know you're not because we've seen the games you've produced. You're not talented writers. That we're talented narrative designers. No, and that people are hiring us because we tell good stories, because we collaborate well, and because we write video games. They have to diminish our accomplishments to our identities. They can't imagine that the work I did on Spider-Man was story work versus adding pride flags, Yeah, you mean like the mission where you're playing Mary Jane with like a fucking taser and she's like taking out like trained soldiers? Or the bits where you're playing Miles Morales and you have to do missions where you help a dude ask another dude out to the prom? You mean that shit that nobody wanted to play? Peter Parker is Spider-Man, by the way. And no amount of cope is going to change that. So, man, you can drive a WTF in there for us. If you find any of this, like troubling, but all right. So, despite the intensity of the backlash over the past few weeks, it's business as usual for Sweet Baby Inc. The companies they work with haven't been scared off. They've actually offered advice and best practices for how to move forward, practices they have developed after facing harassment of their own. Belair tells me. Uh, yeah, no. What you've offered advice? So you basically told them to include wokeness in their shit. That's what you've done. And you know what? I hope that every company that did this loses a lot of money. And I think they will. I understand that a studio closed down because of this shit. At least one had to close their doors. And I hope it keeps happening. So, with that kind of support in their corner and a shared love for writing good stories, the team at Sweet Baby Inc. is determined to forge out and keep working on a litany of games, both announced and under wraps. Yeah, we will be watching. We are a narrative company. That primarily is our work. We are not censors. We have but no, that's bullshit too, because didn't they try to get Sweet Baby Inc. Detected taken down? Like, not only the Steam group, but the Discord too. And I think they might still do it. Remember, Steam is owned by Valve. Valve works with Sweet Baby. Sweet Baby is like, they're on their list. You know? We are not censors. We have no interest in false diversity or in tokenization. Yes, you do. That's what you're doing. We have an interest in making stories better. So, like, okay. So when Final Fantasy VII first came out, was Barrett tokenization? I want to know. What do you guys think? Was Barrett a token character? Or was he just a well-written character? What about Tifa and Aerith? Are they tokens because they're women? What about in the Punch-Out games? I mentioned the Punch-Out games. There's characters from all over the world in that game, right? Was the Great Tiger, is that a token because he's like an Indian Swami and he does illusions? Oh no, we can't have that. That's inappropriate. Did you guys hear about Smash Brothers? They put Mr. Game & Watch in a Smash Brothers game, right? And Mr. Game & Watch was like this little LCD screen game, and one of the attacks he has is him like starting a fire, and he's got like a feather on his head, and they made them remove it because it was offensive to indigenous people. Did you know that? This is like where we're going. Like, nobody has a sense of humor. Nobody, or at least a lot of people. And you know why? Because they're insecure. And you know why? Because they're narcissists. And you know why? Because they have too much pride. And pride has to die. Let's see. The Kid Astro says the article ends, the ads go on forever. Yeah, I think the article is almost over, but there is a bit more. Samus is Giga Waifu. That's right, she is. But is that problematic? I think that's problematic too, isn't it? Sure. They never needed them to attract male customers, but they want female customers because female customers are where all the money is. Yes, they do spend more money, and they have more money spent on them. So, look at GDC talk for Black Haven. Yeah, I mean, I won't be able to do that today. I started this at 5:30. It's been an hour. So I may have to wrap this up because I got to get some dinner. But I'm going to finish this first, and then maybe we'll look at a couple of other things, and then I'll go from there. So, okay. Well, thank you guys for the comments. Really appreciate it. I want this channel to grow. Normally I work on Honey Badger live streams or Badger live streams or Honey Badger Radio, but this gaming channel I started because I wanted to talk about this stuff, and I was warning about this happening like a long time. I could see the writing on the wall, and here we are, basically Gamergate 2. All right. Or just a continuation. I think of it more like a continuation, you know, and I already have haters telling me, oh, you don't know what it's about, it's ethics, and shut up. Shut the fuck up. We're past that. Obviously, we're past that. Like, when the people that are ideologically possessed are no longer writing about gaming, but now they're making games, yeah, we're past that. Anyway. You are pretty edgy already with the Gamergate avatar. Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. Okay, so if let me see, those are the things that we're really passionate about. It says if you're going to come from my work, you can do that. If someone says I wrote a story and you say it's not good, that's totally fine. But if you're going to come from me, at least come correct. Don't be loud and wrong. I mean, we can just not buy your shit. Like, that's it. Like, it's really, you know what? Like, dealing with these people is the easiest thing. It literally saves you money. Like it literally saves you money. After chatting with Sweet Baby Inc., I returned to my Discord DM with one of the members of the group rallying against them. With the help of Belair's own words, I explained what SBI actually does, its core focus on narrative work, and how DEI is only a small part of their remit. He wouldn't budge. Quote, with all due respect, it really just seems like the same thing to me, but it just a bit more hands-on in the writing process. The end goal is to insert DEI type stuff into the project they are working on. Well, but it is, though. I mean, like, they don't have to name it. They're doing it. You don't have to call it DEI if you're doing that shit. Like, we only gave that shit. These people only gave this a name, like, in the last 5 years. But it, as a set of values, like, long preceded that. So, like, it doesn't matter. You can go, oh, well, I'm not doing that. Look, I have all the paperwork here. There's no D, E, or I, and they're not together. It doesn't matter. You're doing it, though. Like, it's in your mind. Like, the thing is, it's in your heart. You are MK Ultra possessed by this ideology. You are infected, and it's going to affect everything you do. And the fact that you don't even want to consider the possibility that you might be wrong about this, and that you're going to do more harm than good, is proof of that. Like, you're possessed, bro. Okay. Sweet Baby Inc. and other industry leaders suggest that this dogged insistence on believing one company is forcibly injecting diversity into games is a side effect of a widespread misunderstanding of how games are actually made. Until the industry is more willing to openly discuss, so we're going to have a conversation about having a conversation. Until the industry is more willing to openly discuss development processes, the lack of transparency will continue to be used as a straw man for bad faith arguments that characterize DEI as an imposition by nefarious, unseen forces rather than an effort to cultivate a more accurate reflection of the world around us. Wow, the cringe. The cringe is real. And yeah, Kotaku is strikes. They strike the first blow. Get ready for more. Kotaku is like only one of many that are going to come. You're going to see more of this. If you're not used to it, get used to it. Gamers Are Dead articles, when they are coming, telling you. Or they might be a little bit more cautious and try to do this another way. I don't know. We'll see. So I got this as well. Thought I would go through. You might have seen this from Tiffany. It is called, this is a little bit from yesterday, but I never had a chance to read it. So I will put it up on the screen, and I want to make sure it's confirmed because these are screenshots. I think Grums said, he might not have been talking about this, but Grums, who used to work for Blizzard, was talking about this on Twitter and said that, or talking about something like this, and had initially shared it, and then he took the tweet down and said that he heard it wasn't like real. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So we will get into that in a second. But you know, first, there's something else I want to share. I forgot to mention this too. So this is Asmongold, and he is again confirming what I said, that this is just the tip of the iceberg, the ice turd. And he made a post on Reddit. And he said, here's a list of Sweet Baby-esque consultation companies that propagandize games. So let me give you the list. And I thought maybe I might go through each one of these one at a time, like in future streams, and just look at their websites, see what they have to say. I'm sure they're going to have all the same buzzwords. These people are generally on the same page on everything. They might have like a specific focus, like maybe some are more G-Mafia, some are more like, you know, black nationalist types. Some are more, I don't know, in some other part of the queer thing or feminist thing, but they're basically probably all going to be on the same page. I haven't looked at it yet, but that's my prediction. So here's the list of companies. Sweet Baby Inc., Black Girl Gamers, Hit Detection, Balance Patch, get it? Because it's about equality. It's all commie shit. Silver String Media, which I talked about on another stream I did a couple days ago. Stone Mayar Games, and it says there's a section here: diversity, equity, and inclusion in the game industry. DEI? What? I thought that wasn't actually happening. Why they frame it that way? It must be a coincidence. Gamer X, gay as in, you know, gay. It's just, oh god.
Gay!
James Mendez Hodes, okay. I don't know if that's how you say it. Dragon Baby. I think Dragon Baby's the localization group. Anita Sarkeesian. So Anita Sarkeesian actually has her own website and she does consulting. So Weird Ghost, I covered them as well. Infinite Ammo, covered them. Funds Weird Ghost, which supports SBI, yes. Gamma Space, related to SBI, and Cozy Comet Games. So I covered Infinite Ammo was owned by Alec Holoka, who was the guy who took his own life because Zoe Quinn accused him of improper behavior, and even though there was no evidence in that it wasn't proven at all, he was alienated and he was marginalized and he lost his job and he ended his own life. And then his sister came out and what we thought would have been a defense of him, instead she just said, well, I believe survivors, it's tragic. And then she took over his company and now she runs his company. So the rot goes much deeper than we realize. No, I realize it. And I would guarantee you it goes deeper than that. I guarantee you it is ubiquitous. Okay. So here is different denominations. It's not just one company. I'm glad Americans are getting more consumer conscious. Stop funding crap for the rest of the world to have to deal with. Yes. One of the problems is if people that are neutral don't talk about this, then extremist people will start talking about it and corrupt the narrative. Richard Beer says, Brian, what do you use for motion capture for the avatar? Well, I have a program called Animes. I'm using the free version of it. Well, yeah, the free version of it right now, because the paid version is subscription based and I don't want to pay for that. That's ridiculous. It does it, and it uses my webcam to, and this is a 3D avatar. It's just, I can also do the Doge like I used to. Yes, I was doing VTubers before it was cool. Like 10 years ago, I was doing the Doge, and I can always bring it back because I still have it. But yeah, I made this model in another program called Vroid Studio, and I had to like build the textures and make them myself and compile everything, get the eyes the right shape, everything, the hair, all of that. And then you export the model as a VRM model, and then Animes lets you import VRM models. And so I imported Vivian as well. So Ergo says I kind of missed the Doge. Animes is on Steam. Yes, it is. Welcome Ergo to the show. So yeah, so that's how I got it working. And I'm not using it now because it takes a lot of resources. My machine is a little bit old, but it also does do hand tracking and stuff too. But like I can't do that right now, so I don't have it turned on. But anyway, okay. So Tiff Yanni, this is shared by her. My opinion as a sweet baby employee. Okay, this was, I think it was like yesterday or the day before. Good day, fellow humans. I am a salaried staff member employed by Sweet Baby. This might be in the Steam group, or was, like one of the forums. I am a salaried staff member employed by Sweet Baby in a low to moderately important role. No, I will not give you my name or my exact role, as it is irrelevant to this discussion, and I don't need the doxing or death threats. So already we're starting off on the right foot, okay? First of all, it's not going to be a discussion. It's going to be a monologue, because she's not going to listen to what people have to say. And she's already presuming she's going to get doxing and death threats. And I'm basing that it's a woman on this picture of a, let's say a woman of size and color, a body positive woman of color. Okay. Anyways, I came across this Steam group from internal discussions within the company and actually found a link to here from browsing news posts. Generally, I wouldn't have time, energy, or the gumption to openly engage like this, but I feel this community has taken such a weirdly toxic and unhealthy approach that I gritted my teeth to sit down and write this, if only because I wanted to vent, and not just to myself in the car or to my colleagues. So here goes. So here we go. So apparently the community has taken a weirdly toxic and unhealthy approach. So She just got here and she already knows she doesn't like it. She's figured this out immediately. Okay. First, Sweet Baby Incorporated is a privately funded organization in whole, all caps. Privately funded, what does that mean? Nothing. They still, and you know what, if you go to the Sweet Baby website, they'll tell you they get grants. So if they get grants from Vanguard or BlackRock, that's one thing. And they do. I'm sure that they do. I'm fairly certain that that's true. But also, they get it from the Canadian government. Like, they get government grants to do this stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't just like a couple of like pink-haired weirdos in their bedrooms doing this. This is like people working with the government, the Canadian government. Second, we are solicited for service by companies who are requesting our services. We do not solicit or use tactics of any kind to increase clientele, despite that being exactly what the Bel Air said. Like, she's the one that you probably should confront with this, I feel like, you know? Okay, that's the wrong one. I think it's this one. Sorry. Okay. Third, any advice, narrative, writing, representation, development, etc. is provided exactly or as close to exact as the company demands as per the contract. We do not go above and beyond to ruin your game. Your, in quotes. Well, it is. If I buy it, it's mine. What are you talking? You're implying that it's not my game if I pay for it? I mean, I know that that's the world you want us to live in, the world where we don't own anything and we're happy. But right now, we own shit. It's our shit. We perform a specific service and are rewarded monetarily. This is called a company. Oh, what a bitch. Wow. Wow. The smug is just... This is pride. This is what I was talking about, man. This is pride. Fracus Maximus says Trudeau is a fucking traitor. Yeah. Hi, guys. Hi, Fracus Maximus. Welcome to the show. Okay. So with those short spurts, I continue. We live in a capitalistic society, and this company does what it does for profit and not for ideology. Bull fucking shit. First of all, you get money from corporations that donate to you, which you just fucking said. And secondly, your ideology informs everything. Well, we're gonna find out. Like, by the time I get to the end of this, we're gonna know exactly where she stands on this shit. Okay. So you're gonna get all the buzzwords. I wish I had a bingo card up. If I had my bingo card up, I would cross all of it off probably. But we'll see. In fact, we are one of the least several dozen companies of this sort that exists in Eastern Canada. Now, let me tell you this. Every single AAA game that has come out in the past 10 years has used a service such as ours. Well, then I guess I won't be buying AAA games. Like, what is this, a threat? We're going to take away that hobby of yours. No, actually, you're not. I'm just going to go somewhere else and give my money to different people. I mean, From Software isn't, like, on your list, you know? Maybe you'll pause Warhammer Space Marine 2. Maybe. We'll have to see. I just won't buy it, though. Like, do you really, like, these people think they can threaten me with a good time by saying, well, all the games that you're looking forward to are going to be paused. I mean, that's essentially what she's saying. And I'm like, well, but then I won't play them. I have a bunch of old games that I can play whenever I want. I already own them. I'll save money. I can do something else. I can read books. I can watch TV. Like some show that, like an old show, like fucking Hogan's Heroes or something. I can watch an old movie if I want to. You know, watch some fucking Once Upon a Time in the West or Goodfellas again. Whatever it is that pisses you off, I will enjoy it. Brian, what's with the audio ads in the background? Well, I'm running like some background music and I have to run some royalty-free stuff. And so I'm doing it on Spotify, but I don't have a Spotify membership either because I'm poor. So occasionally you're going to hear an ad. I'm sorry. Until I can afford it, you know, if I like make more money, that's just what it's going to be for now. Imagine Sweet Baby went and worked with South Park Shattered Butthole. I'd like to see them try, but we'll see. All right. Where was I? So I continue. We live in a capitalistic society, and this company does what it does for profit and not for ideology. Even if we close our doors today, another company would take our place and fulfill the same role. In fact, We are one of the least several dozen companies. Okay, I already read that bit. Every single game, AAA games that's come out in the last 10 years has used a service such as ours. I mean, I believe it. But I haven't been playing any of this shit. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth just came out. Is that one paused? I know that Square Enix is on their list, but how much has Square actually compromised? You know, I'm curious. I don't know. Trigger warning, sensitive political topics. Okay, trigger warning, everybody. Get ready. Maybe you know, get your fucking sensitivity pet animal thing so that you don't like freak out. Now, with the last sentence in the above paragraph in mind, what are you gonna do now that you know this information? Not buy any new games at all? Yeah. Are you going to shrug your shoulders and buy new AAA games that are only kind of diverse or only have a few women in the main plot? Here's the thing. I'm taking a solid guess that the overwhelming majority of the humans here are white. Of course, that's not true. I mean, the guy who started the Discord server is from Brazil, and I'm Puerto Rican, and like this is like the most. That's a really hateful statement, and it only is allowed because we're allowed to hate white people, which I can't stand. Like I can't stand it. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that in essence. Yeah, you just said that there is. But look at it this way. Here in this group, and people who support this group, whether they know it exists or not, are extremely overwhelmingly white males who have a patriarchal and racist view of the world and idea. So did you know that all white men have a patriarchal and racist worldview? Did you guys know that? The mafia is about profit and not ideology too. Well, these women are about ideology. We live in a patriarchal racist view of the world. Some of you may not be Nazis. Some of you may hate Nazis, but nonetheless, at least unconsciously follow an outdated patriarchal view of the world. Some of you may hate women. Some of you may respect women, respect in the narrow patriarchal sense, etc., etc. I can provide an infinite number of examples that will waste both of our time and not really get anywhere. My God, but you don't say anything of value. Like more leftist conspiracy bullshit. Yes, it is. Okay. I can provide an infinite number of examples that will waste both of our times and not really get anywhere. Here's the main point I've been building up to. We live in 2024. Do you guys know it's the current year? The times have changed. This is no longer 1999, where gaming was full of overweight, smelly white nerds who couldn't get a girlfriend. Oh, God. Okay, so first it was, we're not in the 50s anymore. Now it's no longer 1999. Where gaming was full of overweight, smelly white nerds who couldn't get a girlfriend. Upon seeing the changing demographics in their countries, lashed out consciously and unconsciously throughout their favorite medium of escapism from reality. Changing demographics in their countries. Are you talking about the southern border? You cunt. You're in support of that shit, aren't you? You're ridiculous. This is a waste of my time, but it's okay. I'm doing it for you. This is the sacrifice that I'm making for you guys. This is how much I love you guys. As said, it's 2024. It's the current year. Gaming and the internet in general is no longer niche. Developers no longer have to use outdated racist and sexist modems. What? To appeal to the target demographic of the 1999 crowd. Let me say it again in a different way. What do you mean like the modems you got when you got your America Online, like when you set up your America Online in the 90s? Like, what are you talking about? Racist modems? What? Oh my God. Let me say it again in a different way. Gaming is no longer just for you. There are other people in this world that want to play video games and enjoy other such sources of entertainment. If you do not want to buy a game because it has a BIPOC or woman main character, that's okay. It's your money. Do what you want with it. This is a free country, yeah, but you're a bigot, right? But maybe use some empathy and think that you are now a minority in this sphere. There are millions upon millions of women and BIPOC people who want to buy video games and who want to be represented. Was that the end of that screed? Holy shit, dude. Oh no, there's more. They want different stories they can relate to. The white man / men killing people and taking advantage of women games are a long dead trope that only developers on their last limbs do, as a market research has shown. White males of a patriarchal nature are devoutly fanatical and will quickly shell out large amounts of money if a game appeals to their base desires. What are you talking about? What game is this? I want to play it. What game is it that lets you be a white man killing people and taking advantage of women? What game is that? Are you talking about Hitman? Is that what you're what is this? Oh my god. Anyways, I mean, this is like, you live in another dimension if you believe this stuff. You live in another world. Like, this is absolute like bipolar nonsense. Okay. Anyways, I've said what I wanted to say. I've let it out. I might reply to comments that provide genuine points of interest and aren't angry white cavemen ego grunting. If you somehow manage to track my name or whatever down, I don't regret writing this, and even if this post is deleted, my views are the same. I hope in these writings some glimmer of hope can come upon you downtrodden, middle-aged white men. I am middle-aged and I am a man, but I don't know. So that happened. I think we've arrived, my dudes. I think we've arrived. Chatelet is all I can say. Oh well. A lot of GTA games. Oh yeah, I guess so. Sure. Duke Nukem was racist and sexist. Yeah, Duke Nukem, that's right. Welcome, Polaris, to the show. Yeah, apparently leftist conspiracy bullshit is accusing like regular people of conspiracy bullshit. Well, that was it for the article. I might do take a meme break. Yeah, I needed that, right? I needed that. Anyway, so that's it for that. I just wanted to read through that article. I think this has gone long enough. I want to say I appreciate you guys so much for coming on and talking about this stuff. I got 23 people watching. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. It would be amazing. And also follow me on Twitter. I usually post a lot of things in the morning. It's like the first thing I do is kind of like go and find some dank things to share, and throughout the day. So, you know, follow me on Twitter at Badger Arcade. Subscribe to this channel if you could, and I'll do a little dance for you if you do that. I'll do a little head bob. You know, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Like that, you know? Although I don't have that song because I think I get dinged. Frax Maximus says, if you think Duke Nukem was bad, you should try Serious Sam. Oh yeah, I know about that. Kit Astro says she only wanted to insult people and didn't say anything of substance. Well, I'm glad you recognize that. It was just hate. They're just hateful people, man. That's all it is. They're just hateful people. Richard Bier says, Brian, have you heard about the Texas Panhandle wildfires by any chance? No, but it seems like a bit of a distraction. So beta. I will look into it later. Kid Astro says, like, I remember growing up that I read about how toxic Call of Duty was, but I don't believe we don't want girl gamers. Like, who doesn't want the ideal wife? Well, yeah, it's bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. Like, they're not actually, if you want to know what you can use the bot for, in the description of this video, you should see a list of different commands you can spend coins on, by the way. And you can talk to the AI, because Arcade Machine is in the chat. And so you could also spend 100 coins on her, and she will like respond to you. Hopefully, I mean, usually it works, but sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. It would be a glitch in Chat GPT. And odds are she's listening to me talk right now for whatever reason. So, but I'll just look at a couple more comments and then I'm gonna leave it be. Kid Astro says racism and systemic racism is two different things. Yeah, not to these people. Everything is systemic. Thank you, Kit. I usually do that. Normally I will do game streams here, and sometimes I'll play games with my wife. We play games together. Like we just finished going through Resident Evil 6, and I also like have her play games. Like she started going through the Tomb Raider remastered because Tomb Raider was like one of her favorite games growing up, and I'm trying to get her to do some other things like Portal 2 with me. Because I got Portal 2 for us to play together because it has a co-op mode. I've never played it before. And also she likes to play what is it? Oregon Trail? Some newer version of it that for whatever reason she can't run on her computer. So yeah, she's a gamer wife, yeah. Sorta. Yeah, I mean mostly. We kind of met through Gamergate, like back in 2015. So the AI is listening. Yeah, probably. I mean, it is an AI. Or the AI is reading your chat. That's true, for sure. Because occasionally the AI will chime in and give her thoughts. So just be on the lookout for that. Like right up here, it says, she said, I'm adding a little pizzazz to your day with some tunes, enjoying the serenade when somebody asks about the music. But anyway, Polaris says, I respect women. I also tell the truth about women, which some women find disrespectful. You play video games no matter what kind you are a gamer. Yeah. Well, most of us are. Like, video games are very mainstream now. It's always been. But that's not really the issue. The issue is there are people who enter something and they want to make it better. They want to contribute to it. And there are people who enter something and they want to unravel it. They want to undo it. They want to make it look like them. It's like, you know, it's like they want to make it in their image, right? They're narcissists, ultimately. But anyway, let us wrap up the stream here. Thanks, guys, for coming on the show. Again, really appreciate it. If you like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, leave me a comment, let me know what you guys think about what we talked about on the show today, and please share this video because sharing is caring. Thanks guys so much for coming on this like kind of last minute emergency breaking news stream at Honey Badger Arcade, and if more of these things come up, I will probably like do this again. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. I'm going to go get some din now, and I'll see you guys later.
Are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.